Well, that's not good. See that water? Let's get this turned off. All right, so we got it turned off.
Let's shut it off. Yeah, that's their.
Wow, they just got here, didn't they?
I don't know who it is, but yeah, they just.
Oh, gosh. Hope there's no flood inside.
I hope there isn't.
How did that, let me see what they got hooked up here. Water inlet. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
I'm trying to keep some now.
We're going to try to figure this out.
Yep.
Yeah, we just pulled these valves for them, and a lot of water's coming out. I just hope there's no damage inside the RV, because look how much water has been running out the roof. Look at this, all the way down the street. Good gravy. And it looks fairly new too. Goodness gracious. All right, well, when they get back, we'll talk to them, try to figure out what happened. Okay, so when we got here, we just shut off this main valve, but you can see they got two hoses, because that's a fresh water there with the regulator. But you can see they're both on. This is the hose for flushing the black tank, and you can see it was in the on position. So that's why the water was coming out of the roof of the RV. I just hope there's no water inside the RV. Man, oh man. That's why I never leave this hose hooked up. When I flush my tank, as soon as I get done, I unhook that hose. Just in case, you know, someone comes wrong and flips on the valve. This thing should always be disconnected. Do your flush, then unhook it and go on to something else. In case the video didn't catch it, when I first walked up, water was pouring out of this roof vent right here. That's all that water is running down the street. So I just hope they got a good seal inside, so there's no inside damage. So we'll find out as soon as they get home here, hopefully in a few minutes. We reached out to the campground office to see if they can't call the owner of this RV. That's another reason it's always a good idea in case of emergency. Have your phone number in a window somewhere in case something like this happens and someone in the campground catches it, they can call you. And another nice thing is to have a key hidden outside somewhere. So someone calls you, there's a problem, you can tell them where your key is, they can get inside, turn off water, whatever needs to be done to try to stop any more damage. So we'll update you as we learn more. Well, it's the next day. We got to talk to the owner of the RV yesterday, and the campground was able to get hold of them. They rushed back, and we talked to them. They found out that evidently the water had been running for about an hour and 45 minutes from the time they left, from the time we got it turned off. Another good thing is the fact there was no damage inside the RV. Even with that water running all that time, the seal at the toilet to the floor was good enough. It kept any water from leaking. And I've heard stories where people have bought new RVs and made this mistake, and water, you know, leaks past the toilet and just destroys the floor, and you get mold. It just totals the RV. One simple little mistake could just be a mess. And this was the maiden voyage. This is a 2022 Airstream. There's no time. I'm sure this is probably $100,000. I don't know. These things are expensive. But luckily they avoided a disaster of a mess. But he told me, I guess what had happened, he was the very first time he'd ever dumped the tank, and he thought he was turning, I guess maybe they got in a hurry to leave. He thought he was going over here and flipping off both valves when he left, but in fact he flipped them both on. So that's kind of what happened to him. But luckily a disaster was averted. So anyway, lessons learned on this, you know, when you do a flush on your tank, when you're done, unhook that hose. Because if you leave that hooked up, any kid walks by and playing around, happens to flip this lever, and you got what that fills up a black tank. It ain't got nowhere to go, and it comes out the roof. You know, luckily in his situation, it was a clean black tank, brand new, so didn't cause any nastiness on the roof. Which actually is kind of ironic. In this very same spot about 2 weeks ago, a camper did the very same thing, but his wasn't so nice. He had poo all top of his roof. It took him 2 days to clean it off. It was a mess. So anyway, what did we learn on this? Keep your hose unhooked when you do your flush on your tank. Babysit it. don't leave it. That's why I got that alarm system on mine. If I walk away, go around the RV, do something else, an alarm goes off as soon as it gets almost full. So I like that little device I made some years ago, and it's on the channel here somewhere. But anyhow, well, I appreciate y'all for watching, and don't make a mess with your RV. Protect it.